This is CBS 7 News at 10. Your eye on West Texas.
Here's a look at the fire situation in West Texas. Since we were last on air, one fire is burning in Goldsmith near Kermit Highway and 158. Crews tell us that the fire is producing a lot of smoke, but they have the flames under control. One firefighter was also seriously injured at or near that fire. We're told he's been airlifted to Lubbock. This is according to the firefighters in Winkler County, who say he's been airlifted to the area.
Another is still burning near the Andrews-Midland County line. It's dubbed the Derrick Fire by the Texas Forest Service, actually in Martin County. Highway 385 is back open, though, tonight. That's where that fire started. The origin point has been contained, but quickly spread east toward Highway 349. That road still closed down tonight. We have more details and team coverage of all of these fires, but first, let's start with the biggest one we saw today. It's been named the Seed Fire.
4,000 acres lost, a fire line 6.5 miles long and 1 mile wide, and possibly hundreds of people evacuated. It's believed the fire started by a tire blowout. It has been ruled as accidental by fire investigators. It had fire crews working to keep homes, churches, and other buildings from becoming ashes. With peak wind gusts at 50 miles an hour, it had you flooding our CBS 7 Facebook page and the newsroom with concerns over where that fire was going.
This fire is said to be 90% contained tonight, but crews are still watching very active hotspots. CBS 7's Bo Berman is standing by now with the very latest. Bo?
Well, we're joining you live right now from the Scarborough Sports Complex, which has turned into a mobile command post for a group of fire departments here tonight that continue to work on hotspots. Of course, they've been fighting this fire all day. 4,000 acres burned in total. At one point, this fire was 6.5 miles wide, or 6.5 miles long, that is, almost a mile wide. And it started earlier today back on 191, spanned all the way out here to Midland and crossed Loop 250. Behind me, what's going on right now is the Salvation Army is here. They've been assisting firefighters who've been coming through after they've made runs on hotspots. There's a mobile command post here that's receiving calls and then sending out and dispatching trucks to hotspots. One of them was over by the Seed building tonight, which is actually where this fire started. Now, it's been a long day, some very intense moments for firefighters. Right now, I'm actually joined by Assistant Fire Marshal with the City of Midland, David Hickman. Mr. Hickman, how intense was it today, and how did you get this under control?
This fire was very dynamic. It evolved so fast. We had to really work hard to stay ahead of it. All the agencies that were involved with this fire, law enforcement, they did an outstanding job today. This thing was very challenging for us. It was moving so fast, 4 to 6 miles per hour. So it took some large challenges to stay ahead of it. Even crossed the Loop 250 and got over some residential areas. We were very lucky, no injuries. We had one small building loss, but it was very tense, very dynamic, very hard to see. We had to shut down roadways and do some evacuations, but it turned out to be a really good effort on everybody's part.
And of course, there's actually still some hot spots tonight, and that's an issue that I've been told y'all will stay out here as long as you have to, all night if you have to. What's the plan for tonight and heading into tomorrow?
Well, we're going to monitor the area. We have a tactical dispatch set up here at our command post. We're also going to be monitoring hot spots. It's going to be normal for this to happen tonight. With our winds are still about 10 miles an hour right now, so these little fires are going to flare up. So we're going to have crews going out and hitting these hot spots tonight and staying on it all night long if we have to.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Hickman. Of course, a lot of effort put in by these firefighters today. A great job. Roads are back open tonight. We have found out tonight that this fire was accidental. It started from a tire blowout on Highway 191 by the FM 1788 off-ramp. For now, reporting live in Midland, Bo Berman, CBS 7 News.
Bo, thanks very much. The very high wind gusts were a major factor that caused this fire to spread as quickly as it did.
Let's check in right now with the Weather Director, Craig Stewart, for a look at what these winds were doing today and how long they're going to stay down. Craig?
Well, Jay, Tate, I'm seeing the wind gust again, mid to upper 40s, near 50 in some areas. It has been very windy. Now, I want to show you what's going on right now around the area. We'll look at the pinpoint 4x4 radar, show you the true view winds. And for the Midland area, these winds really now are at 14 miles an hour. They're kind of picking up and coming down, but right now sustained at about 14 to 20. So they have really died down in the Midland area. As you look toward the fire that's around Andrews County and Martin County, you've got west winds sustained right around 20. That fire has not jumped 349 yet, so that is the good news. And what we're looking at in 349 is well, right into that area. And as we go down toward the south, this is the road that they're hoping to contain that fire. And then the other fire that we are looking at, there might have been two fires here right now, and one, it's in basically northeastern Winkler County, northwestern Ector County. The winds there are from the west-northwest right now. They do not have a handle on that fire. I want to show you some video from that fire as well. What we had early on this evening on the fire, you can see all the smoke there. The locations really is on Highway 115 on both sides of the highway. I've had reports it's now up the Caprock, so it's heading toward the wind turbines there on the Caprock. The size 6 miles long, about a half-mile wide, and it approximately has burned 1,500 acres. The task force from Alpine is en route to this fire, and talking to the Wink volunteer fire chief there, they do not even have a handle close to this. So that is the fire near Goldsmith. I want to show you an iCam that is shooting out toward the Goldsmith area, which we think this could be the flare that's out in the Goldsmith area. Hopefully that's not the fire, but it looks like it could be the flare that's just burning out there right now. But as you can see, very bright off into the western skies. So again, these fires, they need to get contained. Good news is the Midland is, the Andrews and the Goldsmith, Winkler County one, those are still ongoing. So something we will keep our eyes on. We'll tell you about the winds tomorrow if we can expect the same thing.
Craig, thanks very much. Thick black smoke and fire created a dangerous situation for those just east of Loop 250 in Midland. Here is a closer look at the areas that were evacuated. People living between Rick and Annetta and Midland Drive and Loop 250 were moved to the Horseshoe and the Midland Center.
This video from just after 5 o'clock this evening shows the smoke coming from that seed fire into the Midland area. Loop 250 had to be shut down from Midland Drive to Highway 80 for several hours today. Emergency crews traveled the loop to make sure the area remained clear before allowing people to get back on the roads.
Many of the evacuees were lucky enough to grab what they could from their homes before being forced to leave.
CBS 7's Mayron Berkson was at the scene where families were scrambling today. Mayron?
It was a hectic scene just outside the flames. Families running into their cars, people watering their homes, and hope that it wouldn't be the last time they see their homes.
Watering down the roof, the house, the yard.
As the fire inched closer to threaten plenty of Midland homes, residents had little time to react.
DPS just knocked on the door, banging on it, saying, to evacuate everybody. And then I was still sleeping, then my cousin came in and said, hey, you're going to get burned up, And so I just got up and started packing all my stuff. I got everything I needed and put it in my truck.
I got all my valuables, pictures, computer, and well, anything else can be replaced.
But with smoke in sight, they couldn't help but worry.
My back door now. I keep looking toward the west, and I hope it just stops where it's at right now. I'm a little worried, I ain't gonna lie, but hope for the best.
And all the evacuees were hoping for the same thing.
Just make sure our house doesn't burn down.
Mayron Berkson reporting for CBS 7 News.
Mayron, thanks very much. Some families didn't have time to even try to save their home or anything inside, and many were asked to drop everything and get to safety just as quickly as they could.
Our team coverage continues with CBS 7's Shannon Murray, who also spoke to these evacuees who spent the afternoon expecting the worst, hoping for the best. Shannon?
Midlanders east of Loop 250 near Thomason Drive were asked to evacuate this evening, and they tell us the hardest part is the unknown.
Not too long ago when we've seen this on TV, we didn't have any idea that this would actually be happening to us here in Midland.
Marilyn Harmon was one of the first to arrive at the Horseshoe Arena, where evacuees waited for any information on their homes.
Actually seeing people still coming in and, just wondering if you're going to have a home to go to.
I'm just worried about the house and having a place to go back to.
I'm sort of wondering what was happening to my animals, because since I couldn't get to my house, I have animals there that are still unaccounted for.
And after 20 years living in Midland, Harmon says she never thought this would happen to her.
See this kind of stuff on TV, and you never ever expect this to happen in Midland.
Just before 8 o'clock, all evacuees were let back into their homes. The Red Cross tells me this is just another reminder to everyone that these wildfires aren't over yet. Reporting in the newsroom, Shannon Murray, CBS 7 News.
Shannon, thanks very much. Meanwhile, the Derrick fire in Andrews County is still burning at this hour. The fire started off Highway 385 and has since moved east.
So far, it has burned 14,500 acres and forced the closure of Highway 385, FM 1788, and also Highway 349. Now, this is live streaming video. The fire is now located 9 miles north of Midland on the Martin County line. Crews from Midland, Andrews, Martin County, and the Texas Forest Service crews are all battling this blaze. It is located along the draw in that area. There is no containment of any kind of this fire at this time. We want to thank all of you who called and wrote on our CBS 7 Facebook page, sending pictures and keeping us up to date on road closures and evacuations.
Here's a look at some of the photos that came into our newsroom today. Smoke could be seen for miles from all of the fires going on today. Thankfully, no homes were lost. At least one person was injured in a fire about 15 miles north of Kermit today. There may have also been a couple that were damaged in the Andrews area. But if you have any photos of today's wildfires, you can send them to CBS7.com or even post them on our CBS 7 Facebook page.
Almost 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts today, and we could be seeing everything from thunderstorms to 100-plus degree highs within the next week. Craig Stewart is back after the break with a look at your ever-changing 7-day forecast.
And a little later on, new details keep emerging about a double murder of an Odessa couple. We'll have the full report coming up in just a moment.
First, we want to recognize those of you who have generously donated to our CBS 7 Help Your Neighbor Fund to aid the Red Cross in ongoing wildfire relief efforts.